training is all farm family taught. My grandpa was great at grafting. You know, everybody has their different technical things that they are good at. My dad was good at pruning, and my grandpa liked to work on the little trees that I can remember. And I mean, my mom, who's been with my dad since 8th grade, she worked in the orchard. My grandma, who came from England, she worked in the orchard. So it was just a normal thing, and you learn so much more with hands-on. Because my sister and I, we all went to college. She has an elementary education, and I actually have an associate's in criminal justice, which we were always told you need to go work for someone else. You need to get outside of the family, experience some other things. And I always knew that I'd come back to farming. You never really know when. And it just kind of happened when my grandpa passed away, and just kind of like, hey, I'm ready to do this. Let's start this full time. And, you know, working for my family, and yeah, you see maybe the pack outs weren't as good, or maybe the pruning didn't prune as heavy as you wanted it. Maybe you should have cut more. But when you realize that, it's usually too late, and you have to make changes the following year. So it definitely hits you harder when you're running your own place and you start seeing some of either those difficulties shine through and then start affecting your pocketbook more so than just being the fun kid on the farm that gets to drive the tractors and just do little jobs. But when you are in charge of everything and it affects you, that's real. So my mom, being an accountant, has done all of our book work. And so all of the stuff that I've learned, I've had to run my own orchard stuff. I mean, she still helps me with quarterlies, because that's just, I mean, she's going to clients all the time and helping other orchardists. But it's been a huge advantage that I didn't have to go out and find outside help, where sometimes it's on Sunday nights, sometimes it's in the evenings when we're both tired. But to have that experience and be able to do my own book work and learn from the past of how to manage your money with orcharding, because it's a year behind. You don't know if you're going to make money that year, but you have to put money into that crop. So I think I'm 10 steps ahead to have that background living in the house next to me. I think probably the biggest challenge for me in the last 2-3 years has actually been on the board at the warehouse. That, and trying to make the right decision for all the growers, not just my household, not just my families. It's for everyone's kind of counting on you to make those decisions. And I think that's been more stressful, where I come back to the orchard where that's my home place. That's my stomping grounds. I can summer prune, let's do this. All these other little jobs, I know I can do it, but I think the warehouse has been probably the most challenging, and has pushed me to kind of break out of my box of just my little area in Dryden. Because as Dryden, and actually the Wenatchee Valley, is very tight-knit, but we all want the same thing. We all want to grow good fruit. We all want to get a good price. We all want to, but probably the last 4 years have been a struggle for orchardists, and we haven't been making the money, but our costs are going up. And you know, I know my family and I have talked about it multiple dinners, multiple Sundays, all the time, about what can we do to help. We have to promote ourselves. We're not big corporations. We're 4th, 5th generations that are just trying to make a living and continue this legacy on, and we don't want to see it die. I think the only way you're going to get somewhere is advancing within your business. It doesn't have to be just growing pears. It doesn't have to be just farming. It's everything. If you're not advancing, you're not growing, you're not getting better. There's always changes you can make. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, because we're standing in an old shop that was here before my great-grandparents, and this used to be a packing shed. Orchardists used to pack their own down the road. That was a packing shed. Their own families. You can read names and dates in the back of this barn, and how many packed boxes, and families that were here doing that. And that doesn't exist anymore. You have to be on a bigger spectrum. You have to have a sales marketing. You have to get out there. You have to ship your fruit across the ocean in containers. Can it make it across the equator? All these factors matter. Yes. I never would have thought in a million years that I would be doing, or where growing pears would take me. I never thought that I would be part of a campaign with Haynes and our marketing, and do a Pears for Pear program, and go meet some incredible homeless shelters and people that are volunteers, and to do meet the growers and have them come out and look at how we run things out here. And this is what we need to do, promote pears. We love it. We want everyone else to love it. We want to show them where their fruit comes from, that it's family and crafted by love and sometimes tears and stress, but that farmers care so much about their crew, their pears, their fruit, their whatever they're growing, have more passion than anybody I think you would ever meet.